Check this out.
Middle bit, spotted by Chris
Calvin up, and a free kick position here that Ronaldo will fancy.
Okay, so what is he doing? Turns out he manifested. Create the life you want with just your thoughts. This idea of manifestation echoes a lot through social media, often framed as a shortcut to success.
But over time, it became associated with false hope and toxic thinking.
Talking about the universe, magical thinking, and the law of attraction. It's very easy to criticize that. So I wanted to find out what's true and what's not, based on real science. That's why I sat down with real experts to understand what's this all about. And this took me all the way across the Atlantic. And what I found out completely blew my mind in ways I never expected. All right, let's take a quick look at its history.
Well, sit, children. Let me give you the subject of the day.
Manifestation has its roots in ancient Hindu philosophy, which emphasized the power of thought. And later, the Buddha spoke of similar ideas, showing how our thoughts shape our world when he said,
"Whatever a monk keeps pursuing with his thinking and pondering, that becomes the inclination of his awareness."
Then, in the 19th century, a new spiritual movement called New Thought appeared. It combined ideas from different traditions to form the law of attraction, which is the belief that our thoughts create our reality. Positive thoughts bring positive experiences, and negative thoughts bring negative ones. Well, the New Thought movement laid the foundation for some of the classic works of manifestation in Western culture. From Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, 1937, to Norman Vincent Peale's The Power of Positive Thinking, 1952, to Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, 2006, which is perhaps the most famous one. Anyway, with the arrival of the smartphone and the social media era, things kinda got out of hand. Suddenly, people became attached to their phones 24/7, constantly comparing themselves to others. And with that, the expectations for success kept growing.
How to get there fast?
Manifestation took off fast. It seemed like the easiest way to get what you wanted. But this approach remains highly controversial. A recent study found that 35% of participants hold some belief in manifestation, while the remaining 65% expressed little or no belief. Alright, so either there's a lot of false information out there, or this is a real phenomenon we don't fully understand yet. To solve this mystery, I've went on a mission.
You got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying with Elsner's exploration.
You got it.
MIT. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Sharot. I'm a professor of cognitive neuroscience at UCL and MIT.
Dr. Tali Sharot is a leading expert on decision-making, optimism, and emotion. She's also a best-selling author, and her TED Talks have reached over 70 million viewers worldwide. So, what does she think about manifestation?
So I think it depends how you view manifestation. So the thing I think that may have some substance is this idea that if we believe things can happen, we're more likely to act to make them happen. So if I say to myself, I'm going to be a great documentary filmmaker, and I say that and I believe that, then that will give me the kind of confidence to actually try and get to that goal, right? To do the things that will get me there. So I think if you kind of look at it like that, there might be some value to manifestation, right? If you tell yourself things again and again and you believe they're possible, that will motivate you to act to get to your goal.
But beliefs don't just sit there. When we repeat a thought or image again and again, which is the core of manifestation practices,
it becomes more vivid, right? Meaning it's like more color, more details. And it has been shown that we're more likely to believe that things will happen if they're more vivid. This is both good and bad things, right? So if you imagine like a tragedy with vividness and detail, just because you've seen it in a movie many times, that makes you overestimate how likely it is to happen. But it can also be true for positive things. So if I can vividly imagine myself finding the love of my life and getting married, then I will believe that's more probable than otherwise. And if I believe things are more probable, then I'm more likely to be, again, motivated to act towards that goal.
and once that repeated thought or image turns into a new belief, it begins to shape how we see the world.
So our beliefs do guide our attention, what we look at, what information we try to seek out, what we attend to when we're listening to something, right? And what we're really doing is we're trying unconsciously to confirm our beliefs.
Our brains are attuned to pick up on things that confirm what we already believe.
Listen, all you New Yorkers.
And this actually brings me to my next expert.
I'll give you our conception of the most popular composition in recent years.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. I'm Yuri Buzsaki. I'm a big professor of neuroscience and neurology at New York University Medical School.
Dr. Buzsaki is a neuroscientist and author, best known for his research on how thoughts, memories, and perception are organized by brainwaves.
You got it.
Brainwaves are tiny electrical pulses that help different parts of the brain communicate with each other. And he says the brain is like a prediction machine because it's using these rhythms to guess what might happen next. Is it fair to say that what people call manifestation might just be the brain using its own rhythms or brain waves to move toward imagined outcomes?
So I will be a little harsh, and I say that when we don't understand something, we make up a word or two and pretend that those words explain what we don't understand. So manifestation is a new word, or relatively new word, that came about maybe a decade or two ago. And we put a lot of content in it, and everybody puts different contents in it, and that's why it is so difficult to understand, because there is not even a human consensus on it, which wouldn't make it real, but at least it would be more disciplined to understand. Now, why is this a so popular idea? The reason why it is so popular idea is because it's positive. Anything that is positive is so appealing. The desires of humans are incredibly strong.
For Dr. Buzsaki, understanding manifestation begins with understanding what a thought really is.
A thought for me is simulated action. The value of thought is only useful when it is acted out sometime in the future. The manifestation is basically what we discussed about is a thought. It's a drive. It is a thought in your brain that can lead to your desired action. It's planning. And every part of it is science. But the way how the manifestation is marketed is that you just have to think about enough, and it becomes a reality. And it doesn't. or does not always, unless it is translated into action. I think that's a good approach or simplified approach to this very complex idea, because unless you act upon your imagined items, you will never succeed.
Okay, tell me.
Basically, that thoughts and beliefs are essential, but they're useless unless you act on them.
So that should do it, right?
Sure, but I still want to talk to this other guy who spent decades of researching. Chapter 1. The universe doesn't give a fuck about you.
Oh, you mean Dr. Doty?
Dr. James Doty is a Stanford professor for neurosurgery, neuroscientist, and author. He's well known for exploring manifestation purely through science and exposing how it's often misunderstood. Okay, so Dr. Doty makes one thing clear. Manifestation is real, but it's fundamentally based on neuroscience. There's no magic, there's no law of attraction. Our brain is incredibly powerful, but most people just don't realize it. Now, how does manifestation really work?
The way in which you manifest, and I'll define manifestation, is the ability to take an intention and embed it into your subconscious in a manner such that it has the greatest likelihood to occur or to manifest.
Okay, one more time. According to Dr. Doty, manifestation is reprogramming our subconscious mind by embedding a new intention. So how do you do that? You write it down. You read it silently. You read it out loud, and you visualize it. By doing this, you embed your intention into your subconscious, and then 4 different cognitive networks get activated.
Excuse me, Dr. Elsner, can you explain these networks?
Oh, yeah!
Okay, so first one is the default mode network. This one gets activated when we talk about daydreaming, imagination, thoughts, and memories. This is where we create a narrative of who we are and who we want to be. Alright, next one is the salience network. This one detects and prioritizes important events. It's basically how we make something stand out to us. So the third one is the attention network. And this one carries out the actual focusing. Last but not least is the executive control network. This is for decision making and action planning, and it's being activated to realize that intention.
Let me tell you people.
This is exactly what you do in the context of manifesting. You embed something deeply so that your subconscious is always on the alert for any opportunity to make that connection to manifest your intention. What people don't realize is that we are bombarded through our sensory organs with about 6 to 10 million bits of information per second. But only 50 to 100 bits can be processed consciously. So,
choose wisely.
However, for all this to work, we first have to set our brain up correctly. We have to be in a right mental state. For that, we have to look at the autonomic nervous system, which consists of 2 parts. The sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. When we enter a state of fear, the sympathetic nervous system takes over. When that happens, it has very negative effect on how your brain functions and the body's overall physiology. On the other side, our parasympathetic nervous system kicks in when we are in a state of love. In this state, your brain and body perform at their very best. We are a species that is highly attuned to the negative. So anything that's a threat to our existence. Thousands of years ago, they could have been a wild animal. Today, it can be anything, from money problems to simply comparing ourselves to others. The thing is, back then, it only happened periodically. Today, capitalist society has turned it into a chronic condition. Living in constant fear blocks manifestation. It limits what's possible, because when you're just trying to survive, you're not exploring 50 different options. You're just thinking, how do I get out here fast? We were not designed to live in constant fear. We were designed to live in a state of love. In that state, anything's possible. The brain stays open, ready to catch the signals that truly matter. And there you go. That's the science of manifestation. Now, Dr. Doty has one final message he hopes we will all carry with us.
Fundamentally, addresses the issue of how people create a prison for themselves by this negative self-talk. Every time they make a negative statement, it's as if they're laying down a brick to build a prison, and the walls get higher and it gets darker. Yet, all of us have the key in our pocket to let yourself out of the prison that you created. And I think this recognition is what's really, really critically important. And it's not woo-woo. It's not looking to the universe to save you. It's understanding your own self-agency and not believing that there's something out there. Now, that being said, and as you know, the first sentence of the book says the universe doesn't give a fuck about you. But at the end of the book, my statement is you are the universe. And that is your gift.